kind of feel like I've been making no progress, but that's not necessarily the case. Do I start with an outside shed open? Let's do that. I think that the tool shed is a boring option to choose, but I feel like it's genuinely a good option, period. I think I will choose the shelter out of these, and then simply hope I'm able to find the vault this time. Lost my train of thought there. Thought I saw something in the grass. I do want to connect the boiler room to the pump room still, so that should be one of my goals this time. An early laboratory, huh? You know what? Let's do it. A letter will be delivered to the mail room. Each time you draft for each bedroom you draft after your second, a letter will be delivered to the mailroom or permanently add 1 gold to your allowance. Both of those seem pretty good. I almost want to take a letter will be delivered to the mailroom. Just because I don't know what those letters are. So I guess we'll find out. Or at least hopefully, unless we don't get any bedrooms. I feel like not drafting security earlier has been stumping me in a lot of these runs, so I'll just go ahead and do that early this time. There we go. I feel like I never draft the hallway closet next to an actual hallway. Maybe I'll try to do that this time. An orange. I'll take that. More math. So I think that'd be 4 squared, so 16 maybe? Yes. So this would be 25 minus 20, so 5. This is 4 times 20, 88 divided by 10, 8 divided by 8, 1. Alright. 2 keys. Very nice. Grab the parlor here. So many things to use gems on. Only 1 box is true. The black box contains the gems. The blue box contains the gems. Only 1 box is true. Well, if this is true, then these two are lying. So the gems would be in the white box. And this can't be false, or this can't be true. Oh, sorry. No. This can't be false. Right, because then it would be more than one box is true. These two are pointing to different things. So... they must be here. There we go. Come on to the right. Nope. Forwards it is. To the right now? Yes. What is on sale today? Gem, sledgehammer, a set of gems, running shoes. Sledgehammer might be nice. Oh my gosh. I specifically changed it to be a lower security level. What is this? Oh my goodness. I also need to figure out how to get this working. I bet there's something secret about this. I haven't really taken a good look at the art. They must have added it there for some reason. Okay. Let me quickly check if there was a trunk in here. Nope. Unfortunate. Go ahead and grab an office. I hope I don't somehow soft lock myself. Oh. There's this deposit key there. Okay. Let's take the hallway and hopefully get another hallway here. Or the drawing room. I think I'll take the hallway. Hallway closet. Very nice. A silver key. Huh. It was bound to show up eventually. Definitely don't want to take the nursery or the storeroom. And I've got to go left here or else I'm just out of luck. Archives or passageway. I am sheltered, so I think that taking the archives isn't bad here. Yes, sheltered. Good, good. I would also be sheltered from the chapel. That's worth it then. The garage would be nice, but I might just go with the nook because I'm running out of like doorway options. I'll be honest, my runs are just getting worse and worse. I mean, look at what 6 stars gives me before choosing it. 6 stars. There's nothing for 6 stars, so I guess we'll find out. Aha! Very nice. I do have a sledgehammer too, so... not too far from the entrance, so I think I will go ahead and go back there. clunk and clunk. Well, that's a lot of money. More money. I was kind of hoping for keys or something, but you know. I will not complain about getting 30-odd gold coins. Yes, please. Shovel. And I need to remember to draft bedrooms. The music room, huh? Or the library again? I think I'll do the library and then try to get the vaults, maybe? It would be another dead end, but the vault would allow me to unlock the shelter, which I have, so let's try it. And we have a new book to read. The History of Orindia, 2nd edition. This book was reviewed and cleared for publication by the Finn Areas Central Board of Education. It has been edited to conform to our department's standards, including the omission of sections deemed inaccurate or unsuitable for public dissemination. Meaning that we didn't want people to know what the outside world was like, yeah. Finn Areas, the more I learn about it, the less I'm super stoked about what they're up to. Like Caleb Manning. Ruffington Red Publishing. Herbert S. Sinclair, Mary Jones, Det Bon Margle, Simon P. Jones. Oh my goodness, okay. Forward, the name used to designate the realms of the Eastern Waters is no longer known to the average citizen of the elder generation. We must permit our leaders to enjoin us to abandon our past. Most historians mark the beginning of the First Era, often denoted as Agera, by the ascension of the first king, whose name, Horus, would later grace the burgeoning township in which he was crowned. Horus was known before his coronation as a prominent merchant lord of considerable means and affluence, whose sway in the region made him the ideal candidate for the unification of the surrounding provinces. Regrettably, history is not always forthcoming, and the surviving records of those bygone days are mostly limited to trade agreements and sales receipts. Nevertheless, we can deduce from these ledgers that Horus had but one aim: expansion. The territory spread forth from the heart of Horus, and by the end of the 1st century, the Redacted, a new kingdom was born. 2nd Era. It was the 4th king, Redacted, who split this vast domain in 3 equal shares, 3 realms for his 3 children. To the eldest, he granted the fields and mountains of his great-grandfather, the middle province, and the heartspring of the kingdom. The eldest accepted the gift, Redacted. The youngest he bestowed upon him the reach of Arch Ares, the land of the northern storms, a wild and untamed expanse, which at the time was not as developed, but a good deal more vast than the eldest brother's lot. And to his middle child, his only daughter, he gifted the southern region of Eraja, Redacted, a land steeped in tradition, Redacted. 3rd Era. As the 2nd Era drew to a close, the 3 sovereign realms had achieved a period of remarkable progress and prosperity. Each of the 3 distinct regions, ruled by their respective sibling monarchs, had blossomed, cultivating the beautiful resources of their lands and developing a unique character and culture that set them apart from one another. Despite these differences, the sibling monarchs managed to maintain friendly relations throughout their lives and were known for their cooperation in matters of trade and transportation. The succeeding generations of their heirs continued that tradition, and the 3rd Era was defined by Redacted. Commerce between the 3 realms further strengthened their bond and laying the foundation for the promise of prosperous and bright futures. Redacted. Oh, and this was a mountain symbol right here, an hourglass symbol right here, and a redacted symbol right here. Now this redacted symbol in the middle looks an awful like the symbol in the middle of the sigil in the basement, so I'm guessing that that's what that is. And that is the land claimed by the first child, I believe. Yeah, so we're in this top region here. The middle child, got the bottom region here. And then this middle region was owned by the first prince. Something's written here. Fourth era. As the kingdom, redacted, entered the fourth era, a different kind of ruler took the reins of power. King Desilates III was a redacted king who often was seen redacted, drinking redacted, a sight that shocked not only the gentry and the court, but the masses as well. Redacted. Baron Sinclair, thank you so much for your cooperation with our department and this investigation. We know our presence is never convenient, especially for someone of your social status, so it means all the more that you are not only tolerant, but also willing to aid our efforts in getting this business done as quickly as possible. We are returning, with this letter, the book you lent us, though I must confess, it was not as much help as I had hoped. I had heard that your library of rare and restricted books was quite extensive, and I was told by a reliable source that if a first edition and uncensored copy of the history of Ordinia could be found, it would likely be found within the Baron's own collection, but perhaps I was misinformed. Still, part of me thinks that you may have given me the censored copy as a jest, a taste, if you will, for the bureaucrat of their own medicine. If that is the case, then I will say, well done, fair play, and perhaps on my next visit we'll have a laugh about this after you have given me the actual manuscript. Until then, Detective Bon Margot, Redguard. So, makes sense. Desolates was renowned as the king of redacted. No one, when he made the decision to move, redacted. Vying the castle and court behind, the people were overjoyed by this choice and redacted. With those that viewed the king's conduct to be unbecoming of his redacted common folk, these redacted voices planted the seed redacted, which took root in redacted grand city of Fen. 5. Era of Ruin. After the passing of King Desilates III, the fourth era came to an abrupt end. Thankfully, the king died redacted. On the very next day, the 6th of October, the redacted Prince Learson of Fen declared himself the true monarch. This declaration was bolstered by redacted a number of supporters due to the fact that Desolates IV shared redacted little of his virtues. As the prospect of civil war seemed inevitable, the realm's regiments were hastily recalled from the frontiers to stamp out and put an end to the Fensurrection. However, instead of restoring order, what ensued was a savage and merciless campaign against their own people. The gardens of Fen, once the center of splendor, were transformed into a battlefield as the cries of the innocent echoed through the city streets, stained in red. The pacification of Fen. Wow. Spooky. The brutality of the pacification of Fen did not go unnoticed by the neighbors. As sympathy for the city surged, allies came forward to lend support. Among them was the general of the Northern Regiment, who was sickened by the barbaric actions of the other battalions, joined forces with Prince Learson to form a formidable army. Together, they leveraged their political influence and favors to persuade the nearby realms of Arch Ares and Nuance to join their cause. However, even with the tide turning in their favor, victory did not come easy. The War of the Fifth Era lasted 22 long years and saw buried 1 in every 3 men. Prince Learson himself added another number to the casualties. However, even in death, he had won. Oris had fallen, and with it, the realm. The black flags that had flown for 5 eras were burned, and in their place red banners were hoisted in honor of the fallen of Fen. The few remaining members of the former royal family fled in fear of their lives to the south, forever exiled. Very interesting. The current era. 6. Today, the realm inherited by the three Fen Ares, Arch Ares, and Raja, once again stand united as allies. Through the distance between our peoples has grown, our connection to this land remains as strong as ever. The spruce and birch that span across our realms serve as a constant reminder that we all share a common past. Redacted. For this, despite everything else, a land rich in history and a land of myth and wonder, a land that sprung forth the greatest empire the world has ever seen, the land our fathers, our mothers, and of our children. Redacted. Very interesting, very interesting. More lore, more backstory. Love to see it. The foundation does not reset each day. Huh. Well, I guess we're going to the foundation. Oh my. I do have a shovel. I wonder what the requirements for drafting this room are. Oh boy. Turn up. Oh, is there a chess piece in the library? I didn't think to look. Let me check that real quick. Oh, there's an elevator there, huh? I hope that there's a chess piece in here. There might not be, though. Doesn't look like it. Back to the foundation. So, how am I supposed to access that? I have no idea yet. But it doesn't reset each day. Actually going to draft the bedroom instead of the patio, because I need to draft bedrooms for my experiment to trigger. Come on, please, straight pathway. Well, no straight pathway, but I do have the vault here, so don't mind if I do. And today is Sunday, November 22nd. Lots of gold. Now, I'm kind of worried that the gold doesn't reset when I take it. I do have 43 gold already and nothing to spend it on, so I'll just leave it there. Sunday, November 22nd. I need to remember to go back to the shelter to unlock that room. And I think I have a vault key. 233. Let's open it up. Here we go. More coins, which I don't think I'll take, but I will take this. You have been rewarded an allowance token. Your allowance has been permanently raised by 2. Very nice. And passport. Fen Ares. The Fen Ares sigil there. International password. Diplomatic pass. 455. Compromised. Daniels Gray. Arisian. 5156. Female. Gray Daniels. But this is also Mary Matthews. Our mother in the game. So it seems like she had some previous passports, some fake passports, if you will. Very interesting. I did see this in the demo, but good to see it on stream here. And that's a lot of gold. But as I said, I am not going to take it because I don't have anything to spend the gold on right now. There's a rook in here. Unfortunate that there's no queen. So Sunday, November 22nd. Need to find out how to go down here as well. I kind of want to just go outside and ensure that I unlock the shelter before I run out of steps on accident. So I think I'm just going to do that. What time is it here? It is basically 12 o'clock, so I want to do 1 p.m. Okay. Now I just need to wait an hour. Great. I'm afraid I don't have enough steps to like continue exploring, so I'm just gonna be stuck here for a little bit. Might take one look down in the basement while we wait. But it's going to be interesting. Thank goodness that remained unlocked. Yeah. Gotta get across this lake somehow. Was that door always open? I thought that was closed, but maybe I was just seeing the stone wall behind it. Okay, that did use the steps, so I need to be kind of careful here. There's another upgrade disc here. Did I just not take it last time? Guess it didn't. Well, I'll take it this time. Yeah, and this is Ordini, I believe, the symbol for that. Interesting. But under the Baron's house, I almost wonder if this family is like the nobles, maybe? That wouldn't necessarily make sense though. Okay, let's go ahead and use up a few steps to go to the office and use this upgrade disc. There isn't a chess piece in this room, is there? I don't think so. Oh, the mailroom, okay. The mailroom data has been found on this upgrade disk. You will now have the chance to permanently enhance this room. Gotcha. Same day delivery. Package will be delivered here after you reach rank 8. No contact delivery. The package will be dropped off on the entrance steps in the day after drafting this room. Freight shipping. A very large package will be delivered here 3 days after drafting this room. I'm almost thinking freight shipping. That sounds pretty cool. Let's do that. And of course, we only drafted 1 bedroom for our experiment. That is rather unfortunate. But it is what it is. And now we wait for the clock to run down. I suppose that I'm just going to speed this up in post, but for now, I'll sit back and relax for it to be 1 o'clock. Alright, ideally it's just past 1. So let's go ahead and check if it's open or not. If it's not, then I probably set the time too early on. Before it was like because you need to leave 1 hour between setting the time and opening the safe. I'm hoping that's not the case, but I suppose we'll find out. Hey, it's open! Good. Free gem and the 7th letter. Dear Uncle, the disappearance of my cousin, Mary, has long sat unfavorably with me and my father, and I will freely admit to you that the chilly airs of indifference you may have felt in my presence can be attributed entirely to the suspicion that I have harbored for these past years. Suspicions entirely aimed at yourself. And while I have never had the opportunity to prove it, I felt very strongly that you had some deeper involvement in those events 6 years ago. Circulating rumors of those months did nothing but further reinforce my convictions in this fact. Those of us that were once bitten are twice shy, and I am aware of the cost my aggressively aloof behavior has had on the social standing of our family. I do not apologize for my actions, though I am now willing to admit that the conclusions I reached may have been flawed. Last week, I had a confidential conversation with one of our mutual acquaintances, a conversation that has shed more light on this mystery than all my father's countless fruitless inquiries over the years. I now have a reason to believe that you were in fact responsible for smuggling my cousin under the cover of night across the red border to the southern seafront, and I believe this may have occurred in September, a full 7 months after she was reported missing, a date that coincides not with her public disappearance in February, but instead with the notable theft of the Ruby Crown. If the Blackwater insurgents were in fact responsible for the heist, as some have claimed, I believe this scenario entirely plausible, and the fact that 2 of the Crown's 8 rubies have now surfaced has given me renewed optimism that she is still alive. Alive, safe, and finally free. Perhaps my willingness to accept such a sensational story betrays my own desperation. Desperation for answers, desperation for hope, and desperation for a narrative in which you were not the villain. And that distant land we all dream of, the land where the strangling crimson curtains draped across our sky are pulled back and the windows and shutters of the discontent flung wide open. In that distant land, I pray one day to find our Marion safe, happy, and absolved. Courtney. More lore. Man, the lore of this game is so fun trying to figure it all out. All right. Well, we got our 2nd letter. And that's a big win. That is a big win. There are some things that could have probably been optimized as far as getting more bedrooms and getting more letters in the mailroom, but I guess I'll need to save that for another day now, won't I? Let's call it a day here.